Alright, so Justin Wan dropped the new title for Aquaman 2. It's going to be called Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So, first off, let's talk about the Seven Kingdoms. Now, for the longest time, there has been this belief that Aquaman and the Seven Kingdoms were introduced in the first movie. They weren't. In the first movie, we basically got six kingdoms. We got Atlantis, which was ruled by Orm. We got the Kingdom of Zebel, which is where Mira was from. We got the Fisherman Kingdom, which is Digimon Hanzo's kingdom. It's the kingdom that looks like seahorses and mermaids. We got the Kingdom of the Brine, which is the kingdom that looks like crabs. They're the ones who fight Orm's forces towards the end of the movie. We've got the Kingdom of the Trench, which were the more monstrous Atlanteans who mutated back in ancient days into those monstrous creatures that were hunting basically Arthur and Mira through their kingdom. And then we have the Lost Kingdom. Now, the Deserter Kingdom is what they call it in the movie. And that's the kingdom which was basically an ocean that was located in the Sahara during ancient times that ended up being basically destroyed when the ocean dried up and the Sahara became a complete desert. A lot of people think that the area that Arthur and Mira ended up in at the end of the first movie is a kingdom. It is not actually a kingdom. It is a location. It's called the Lost Sea, and it's located inside the Hollow Earth. Now, I understand why most people would think that it's a kingdom, because that's where they found King Atlan holding his trident. It's not. It's basically where King Atlan decided to retreat to with the trident when he decided to die for his failure of causing Atlantis to sink below the sea. Where I think they may be going with this is more or less in three different directions. Two of them are established places, one of them is a completely new one. The first location could be the Kingdom of Dagon. Now, Atlantean society is extremely xenophobic. We see hints of that with how Orm talks about not only Arthur himself being a half-breed, calling him a mongrel, but also with how they view the surface world. For people that are born in Atlantis, if you're born looking basically 100% human, which is always funny to me that the Atlanteans are super xenophobic about surface dwellers, but if you don't look like a surface dweller in their kingdom, they look down upon you as being kind of subhuman. So for Atlanteans who are born with fish scales or webbed fingers or different colored eyes or shark's fin, if you were born with fish features, basically, you are looked down upon as being a mongrel and at the bottom of Atlantean society. And they treated these people so bad for thousands of years that a major portion of them who lived in the slums, which was basically the lowest level on the farthest outskirts of the city, they treated them so bad that hundreds of thousands of these people left, and they basically went and founded their own kingdom, which was the Kingdom of Dagon. It's a kingdom that Orm accidentally discovered during the New 52. That's one area. The second area that I see that this could go in is with the Kingdom of Valor. And there's not really a lot known about the Kingdom of Valor, and they've kind of been replaced with the Kingdom of the Lurkers. Now, what the Lurkers are is the Lurkers are basically the midpoint between Atlanteans and the Trench. They are just as smart, just as driven, just as xenophobic as Atlanteans, but they look and are just as savage as the Trench. And I kind of feel as though that would be a really dope direction to go in, because the Lurker Kingdom has always been this kingdom that is in the background. They're not in the foreground in any way, shape, or form. They prefer to more or less hide in the deepest reaches of the ocean where not even the Atlanteans would dare visit. And then they would come out and strike. It would be interesting if they chose Arthur being the new king and being the new untested king as base. Oh my god. They're basically going to do what the Dark Elves did during Thor the Dark World. Ugh. That's a horrible analogy that just popped up inside my mind. That is, I would really friggin' hope not. But basically, with Arthur being the new king, they could take this as their best shot to get revenge on Atlantis and finally cripple and destroy Atlantis. The third direction that they could go in would be if they decide to explore the Lost Sea, because there's a lot more going on in the Lost Sea than it just being the resting place of King Atlan and the Trident. We see dinosaurs flying around, there are ancient prehistoric creatures swimming in the water, and then whatever it is about the light that the energy was giving off, it terrified the trench. So there's a lot to explore in that area, so I wouldn't mind if they didn't go with the Kingdom of Dagon, or if they didn't go with the Kingdom of the people who I just named, who I've completely forgotten quickly, the Kingdom of the Lurkers. I wouldn't mind if they didn't go with either of those, and instead they chose to go with something completely new, exploring like basically Atlantean mythos. But those are basically the three different directions that, four kind of, since Valor and Lurker are kind of two separate things. But those are basically the two different directions that I see this movie going in, and I'm super hyped. Like, I think behind the first Wonder Woman movie, Aquaman is definitely, in my opinion, the second best DCEU movie, and then of course it's Man of Steel, and then everything kind of like comes after that. But Justin Wan knocked it out of the park with the first one, and I expect him to knock it out of the park with the second one. But yeah, that's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I don't think they have a release date yet, but I'm assuming it's either 2023 or 2022. Oh, never mind, it's right there. It swims in the theaters December 16th, 2022. So end of year next year. And I can't wait. Peace.